What's up? I'm travel photographer Brendan Vanson of BrendansAdventures.com, and I'm here in Banff National Park. I'm going to spend the night in the park shooting night landscapes and star photography. Let's do it. So I'm leaving Calgary. And heading west towards Banff on the Trans-Canada Highway. And I'm heading into the mountains for the night. It's 8 p.m. and I'm gonna do some star photography tonight and probably shoot all the way until the morning, all the way until sunrise, which is about 8 as well. So it's gonna be about 12 hours worth of work. If you think travel photographers don't work, we work. We're out there shooting all the time. All the time. I've been kind of stuck in Calgary for the past 2 weeks, waiting for a new passport, waiting for a new driver's license and stuff like that. So finally I got all that sorted. I got my a rental car today, and now I'm just booking it to Banff for the night to shoot, and I'm gonna have some fun. I've got a busy schedule planned. I'm going to start at Rundle Mountain. I'm gonna shoot Rundle Mountain from Vermilion Lakes, I think, which is right next to the town site of Banff. And then I'm gonna go down the highway, the old Highway 1, and try to do some shooting of Castle Mountain. There's not a lot of light tonight. It's pitch black. The moon doesn't come out until 2 in the morning. So I really don't know how that'll turn out. Usually you want a little bit of moonlight glow on the mountains when you're shooting them. And that's something I'll talk about a little bit later on as I walk you through this video. After Castle Mountain, I'm gonna work my way to Lake Louise probably, and then into British Columbia actually to shoot Yoho National Park, or at least the Emerald Lake and maybe the natural bridge there in Yoho National Park, before coming back into Alberta and shooting somewhere at sunrise. Obviously that plan can change. That's just what I'm thinking right now. So it seems like it's gonna be a good night. It's pitch black, it's completely clear skies. The moon comes out and it's a soft moon. The moon comes out at about 2, so hopefully that'll actually help me. And yeah, I'm excited to shoot stars. I love shooting stars. I don't get the chance to shoot them very much. There's no auroras on the forecast. There's no northern lights on the forecast. It's something I've always wanted to shoot, and really have only had the chance to shoot once. So I would love to get that chance, but it doesn't look like it tonight. We're gonna do some shooting and we're gonna have a good time. And I'll walk you through and, you know, talk about what I'm doing, give you some tips on shooting photography, shooting star photography, and shooting star photography in the mountains, because it is different shooting star photography in the mountains. Anyways, guys, let's get out shooting. Let's do it. Okay, so you've just seen some images flow through from my first location, which was here on Vermilion Lakes. I was initially planning on shooting a lot of Rundle Mountain. I ended up shooting more of an open spot I found on the lake. Vermilion Lakes is a little bit different than all the other lakes in the Rockies. Well, quite a bit different, because it's actually hot spring fed. So parts of the lake can stay open year round. So it was coming out the coolest. Well, I'm really happy with how that first set of images came out. Before I head over to my second location, I just want to talk to you about my setup. I'm actually shooting 2 cameras at the same time right now. So I have my 60D, which is an old crop sensor, and I have my 6D, which is a full frame camera. On the 60D, I have an f1.4 50mm lens. And on the full frame on the 60, I have a 16 to 35mm f4. Now the reason I have the 50mm on the 60D and the 16 to 35 on the 60 is the full frame handles noise better, so I can get away with shooting f4 ISO 3200 and still get fairly noise-free images. If I was to shoot at ISO 3200 on my 60D, it would just be a giant grainy image. So I need the extra spots of light. I need to be shooting at f1.4, f1.6, maybe up to f2 on the 60D, so I can get down to about, you know, 400 ISO 400, ISO 250, something that doesn't give me that grain. And actually I'm probably going to stay with that setup the entire night shoot. longer stuff on the 50 millimeter or longer stuff on the 60D, and then wider stuff and longer exposures on the 6D with the 16 to 35. So the past images and the future images, anytime you see that the image was shot at 16 to 35 millimeters, it was taken on the 6D. Anytime you see an image taken at 50 millimeters, it was taken on the 60D. And that's, yeah, as I mentioned, that's going to be my setup the entire night. If you're looking for a starting point for star photography, it varies based on your altitude, based on how cold it is, based on how dark it is, based on a lot of different things. But I find that a good starting point is about ISO 1600 and f2.8, if you can do that. Since I have an f4 lens, it's got to be f4 and 3200 ISO. So that's a good starting point, and then you can bounce around from there. Anyways, guys, let's jump on to the next location. I'm hoping that I can shoot Castle Mountain on the old highway. I've got a couple compositions in mind, but one of them I really need a vehicle to go through, or I need a vehicle to go through my shot, and it's probably not going to happen this time of night. And then the second shot, who knows? If we can find it in the dark, it'll be sweet. So yeah, let's head to Castle Mountain, and I'll check in with you guys after that. So I'm done now at location 2, Castle Mountain, right on the Bow River. And location was cool, it worked out, I think. But I am running into two minor issues, well, maybe major issues, but 2 issues. Anyways, the first is that when I looked at the time that the moon was rising, it said 2 in the morning, and it's up already, it's only 12:30. So I think I looked at Eastern time. And we're obviously mountain time, or somehow my app gave me the wrong time. So having the moon in your shot isn't, well, not in your shot, but having a moon out when you're shooting stars isn't the end of the world. You can put the moon at your back and shoot stars on the other side, and it actually works as a kind of like a soft light to light up the mountains, and it can work in your favor. But part of the problem with the moon right now is that it's big. It's more than half full, and so it's really bright, and it's actually burning out some of the stars, which is kind of killing my shots. But that's okay. I'm gonna have to deal with it. It's just gonna be something I have to deal with. The second minor issue is that there's more cloud than I expected, especially on the Lake Louise side, which is opposite the moon where I want to be shooting. So a little issue I'm gonna have to deal with. But yeah, that's about it. I'm about a half an hour away from Lake Louise now. I'm gonna stop there and refresh with a Red Bull, and then go up and shoot the lake. Hopefully I can use the moon to my advantage. Hopefully it'll light up that old cabin that's right on Lake Louise, and hopefully I can keep shooting up there. Let's go test it out. So I'm done at Lake Louise. It was pretty tough at first because there was like some high-level fog that was blocking the stars. And to be honest, I'm kind of glad it happened that way, because it forced me to get a little bit creative with some of the images at the start. Remember, nighttime photography, nighttime nature photography isn't just about the stars. It's about creating cool images using the movement of clouds and just the light that you have available, and playing with that light you have available. As I was about to leave Lake Louise, I decided, hey, I'm gonna take one more shot at this, kind of iconic photo spot. And right when I did, the stars came back out and the fog disappeared a bit. So I ended up getting a really cool image, actually probably two really cool images. I also put on my Sigma 10 to 20 millimeter lens for the crop sensor to get a couple shots. There was just nothing to do with the 50 millimeter there, so I had two ultra wides going. I had really long exposure going on the 60D and shorter exposures on the 60, and it was fun. I got some cool images. I'm really happy with how today is going, or tonight is going. I've got 1, 2, probably 3 or 4 images that I'm really happy with, so that's really cool. That's good, a good thing. Anytime you can go out and get 1 or 2 images, even, it's been a pretty good night. I think I've done about 4 or 5 already. Anyways, before I head to my next destination, I want to give you a little bit of a tip when you're shooting night and star photography, and that's don't trust your LCD. When it's pitch black and you're outside, you're gonna look at your LCD and you'll see stars and everything will look bright, and then you'll bring it onto your computer and you'll realize that it's way underexposed. What's happening is it's pitch black outside, your LCD is really bright, and so you're seeing a brighter version of the reality. So when you're shooting really any type of photography, when you're shooting daytime, sunset, sunrise, or especially star photography, use your histogram. So go and learn how to use a histogram, and when you're shooting night photography, trust the histogram, not what your LCD says. A lot of times you'll think it's way overexposed, and you'll look at the histogram and it's actually correct. And this is something I did a lot when I was starting out, when I was shooting star photography the first couple times, is I would be out in the field and I'd shoot images and be like, that's fantastic, that's perfect, that's really cool, and I would get home and they were way underexposed. And remember that you do not want to underexpose nighttime and star photography, because when you underexpose, that brings in a lot of noise into your images, and when you're already shooting ISOs of 1600, 3200, your images are very susceptible to noise. So get the exposure right, get it right, and use that histogram to make sure you get it right. Anyways, it's already 2:30. I'm starting to fade a little bit. I'm doing okay, but I'm starting to fade. I think I'm gonna drive to Yoho National Park and see what the sky's doing. If the sky's lame, I'll come back and have a nap in the Lake Louise parking lot, and then I think I'm gonna probably shoot sunrise just outside of Banff somewhere, so either Morant's Curve or maybe Two Jack Lake or something like that. So I'll figure that out in a bit. Let's go see if I can shoot in Yoho, and yeah, if not, I'll go have a nap. I'm up, I can't get down, get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down, get my feet back on the ground. When I'm up, I can't get down, can't get down, can't get level. When I'm up, I can't get down, get my feet back on the ground. Down, I can't get down. So it's cloudy in BC. It's pretty cloudy, and I'm tired, so I'm gonna skip Emerald Lake and the Natural Bridge because I don't think it's worth it. I'm gonna move back to Lake Louise and then get to the village and have a nap there for a couple hours, and then I'm gonna head to Two Jack Lake and Lake Minnewanka, and I'll shoot that early morning stars and then hopefully sunrise as well. Let's go. So in the end, I didn't actually go to bed last night. I didn't have a nap at all. I kind of just roamed around looking for different places to shoot. I tried shooting on Morant's Curve and think I got a cool image. I tried a couple places that really failed big time. That it was just too cloudy. It was really cloudy, and it wasn't like a heavy cloud. It was just a high foggy cloud. It was kind of weird. And then I ended up here at Lake Minnewanka. That's not Lake Minnewanka, it's Lake Minnewanka. And it was absolutely beautiful here last night. There was some cloud, but it turned into really cool images because of the cloud. And as you can see right now, the sunrise is, it kind of keeps, it comes and it goes, it comes and it goes. The light's actually really beautiful right now. So I was just shooting sunrise. I got a couple images in, but I'm done. I'm so tired and ready to go home. Overall, I got about 10 to 15 images that I'm really happy with, and you cannot complain about getting that many photos from one night. Usually we're looking for 1 or maybe 2 good photos a day, so I'm super stoked about that. Guys, if you're interested in learning a bit about these nightscape photos and how I got them, I posted an article. If you click on the link right here, it'll take you to that article, and it's full of all my information about shooting star photography, nightscapes, and all that good stuff. So head over there, learn about how I got a lot of these shots, because there is quite a bit of technique into shooting night photography. So that's it for me, guys. That's it for me in Canada and North America. I'm off to Europe right now. I'm literally flying to Europe tomorrow, and it's going to be awesome. I've got 2 months in Europe. I'm starting with a Viking River cruise where I have an assignment, and then going up to Helsinki, Finland, and then traveling down the east of Europe to Greece and Italy. So it's going to be sweet, and I'm really excited about that trip. So stay tuned to the channel for all that exciting stuff from Europe. I'll catch you next time. Peace.